Well, hello everybody. Welcome to Jeff's Baking Blog. Today I'm going to make a spiced pumpkin loaf cake using pumpkin puree from a tin, 100% pumpkin, nothing else added into it, and lots of lovely warming autumnal stroke winter spices. Now I'm adapting this recipe from one on the Nordic Ware website, which is for a particular type of pan that they sell. I'm using a 2 pound or 900 gram loaf pan, so this should work quite well in that, because the pan they sell is for a 6-cup cake and my loaf pan holds 6 cups basically, so it should work quite well. I start off by preheating my oven to 180 degrees Celsius, 160 Celsius with a fan, 350 Fahrenheit, and I have greased and floured my 2-pound loaf tin. So that's ready to take the batter, and I'll go on to the ingredients. And for this I have 200 grams, which is 1 1/3 cups based on scooping packed flour into a 250 milliliter cup of plain flour. I have 150 grams, 3/4 of a cup of light brown sugar, 150 grams, 3/4 of a cup of caster sugar, 2 medium eggs, which would be large in the USA, and for information, out of the shell these 2 eggs weigh 97 grams. I have 113 grams, half a cup of unsalted butter, which I've melted, 235 grams, 1 cup of pumpkin puree, 5 milliliters, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and then I have 4 grams, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 4 grams, 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, 2 grams, 2 grams, 1 teaspoon of ground ginger, 1 gram, half a teaspoon of ground cloves, 1 gram, half a teaspoon of freshly ground nutmeg, and 3 grams, half a teaspoon of salt. That's all the ingredients, and the first thing I'm going to do is to put all those spices and the salt into my flour. And then I'm just going to give those a bit of a stir around to get those mixed through basically. Then we can set that aside and mix the wet ingredients together. That's good enough like that. So then into a large bowl I'm going to put both types of sugar along with my egg, or eggs should I say, and the melted butter, which has cooled down a little bit. And the vanilla extract. And the pumpkin. And then I'm going to whisk those together until they're fully combined and everything's nice and smooth. So I've whisked that together, and I left out one ingredient because I was keeping it in the fridge, and that's 60 milliliters, 1/4 of a cup of milk. I'll put that on the page where I list the ingredients on the video, so hopefully that would be okay. So then I'm going to put about half of my flour mixture in, I'm just going to give that a quick mix around on a low speed. And then I'll add in the milk and the remaining flour. And then I'll finish off mixing it with a spatula. And that's good enough. So I'm going to put that into my loaf pan. And with that in the pan, I'm just going to spread it over and level it off a little bit. So I'm just going to give that a couple of little taps to help knock out any bubbles that may be there. And I'm going to put that into the oven, and I'm going to bake it for 50 minutes, and I will test it after 50 minutes with a skewer, and if the skewer comes out clean, I will take it out of the oven. If it doesn't come out clean, then I'll leave it for a further 10 minutes and test it again. So between 50 and 60 minutes, I think it probably will be okay. But I will keep testing it, and as soon as the skewer comes out clean, I'll take it out of the oven, and I'll leave it in the tin for about 10 minutes or so before transferring it to a wire rack. And then once it's cooled completely, I'll come back and show you, and hopefully we'll have a nice moist spiced pumpkin loaf cake. I baked the spiced pumpkin loaf cake for 70 minutes. I tested it after 50 minutes and it was still very wet inside, so I left it for a further 15 minutes and then another 5 minutes until the skewer came out perfectly clean. Then I took it out of the oven and left it in the tin for 10 minutes before I transferred it to a wire rack and left it to cool down. So now I've sliced it and I'll show you what it looks like. And it has baked up very nicely, and it has a wonderful aroma to it, I have to say. So I'll have a taste of a piece here. I bake a piece off and have a taste of it. That is slightly crusty on the top, but very moist inside, with a wonderfully spicy flavour. That cinnamon, ginger, cloves and nutmeg have really done the trick, and the pumpkin keeps it nice and moist. So this is actually a very easy recipe, and it doesn't take too long. It takes sort of 5 or 6 minutes to mix the ingredients together, and then that's 70 minutes in the oven. So that's going to be it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. And if you have, please give me the thumbs up below and click to subscribe to my YouTube channel. In the top right hand corner of the screen there'll be an eye that you can click on, and that will take you to a link for the recipe, and I'll put a link below the video as well. And I'll be back with another recipe in the very near future. So until then, happy baking.